Good morning. Welcome to yoga class, and please have a strap handy for today's practice. Let's get together on the mat. So finding yourself a comfortable seat, wiggle the buttocks flesh away, roll the shoulders, and sit up tall. Close your eyes or look downcast. We're going to have a class focusing on energy today. The yogis have known for thousands of years what scientists are proving only recently, that we are more energy than we are matter. As you check in with your body right now, pay attention to the level of energy that you feel. Does your body feel sluggish and tired, or alert and tingly? Notice the energy level that you're bringing to class today. One way we can increase our energy is through our breath. According to the yogis, prana, life energy, rides on the breath. And the deeper the breath, the more life force, the more prana we bring into our body. So let's start our class today with some three-part breaths. If you'd like to use your hands to help you, start with the hands on the lower belly. Inhale, relax the breath into the belly, and imagine filling yourself up into your rib cage and broadening your chest. Exhaling, the chest relaxes down, the ribs come in, the belly comes in and up. Release the belly, the breath comes in automatically. Expand the rib cage. Don't lift the chest, but broaden it. Exhale, the chest comes in, ribs come in. Actively bring the belly back in. Relax the belly, the breath comes in automatically into the rib cage, and expand the chest. Chest, relax, ribs come in, actively bringing the belly back. So take several more breaths on your own. Also feel the back expanding as you breathe in. Now expand the breath. Imagine when you breathe in, the breath goes all the way down to your toes and all the way back up. Imagine the breath goes all the way down to your fingertips and all the way back up. Imagine the breath running from your tailbone to the top of your head and all the way back down into your middle. And in fact, that is what the breath is doing as it moves through our bloodstream. And as we practice yoga, we open up the pathways for the breath and the energy to flow. We talked about Kundalini last week, the energy that rises up the spine. We also have 72,000 nadis, or energetic channels. So just like we have a circulatory system for the blood, we have a circulatory system for the energy in our body. And we're going to be working with the energy today. I'm just going to change my position, finding a comfortable position. You need to open your eyes and shift, put another leg in front or whatever. And we're going to start with spinal breathing. So we're going to inhale, reach out as if you're grabbing energy from the universe, and exhale, curl in, bringing that energy into your body. Inhale, reach out, look up, stretch up, exhale, draw the belly in, curl in. Inhale, opening. So there's a little cat and dog happening here with your spine. But you're adding that reach of the arms and the head, the eyes. The eyes take in energy too. So in some yogic practices, they say don't close your eyes during your practice.
Just tangle.
Eyes take in energy.
No, this is something that was up.
I get to meet people today. Please mute yourselves.
So you took it.
And come back to center. Notice how you feel while I turn on the mute.
When I was in Kilburn, they had obviously used a bamboo spritzer.
Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so you're just noticing that practice. We're going to do another movement practice and breath. We're going to move forward and back from the heart. Inhaling, exhaling. So this is a Kundalini practice. We're bringing the Kundalini energy up the spine. Inhaling forward and exhaling back from the heart. Now, Kundalini practice is a very vigorous form of yoga. And since we don't usually do Kundalini yoga, if you're not used to this and it starts to get you tired, or if you start to feel lightheaded from too much breath coming into your brain, then skip a set or slow it down. Otherwise, we'll keep going for about a minute. Might feel heat building up. Just a few more. And notice the after effect of that practice. Perhaps at first you notice the energy and the body sensation, but as the body settles down, it's possible your awareness is drawn inside and you feel that deep peace that comes from connecting with our source, our true nature, which is unlimited energy. All right, let's do a few warm-ups. Again, I love to do the infinity symbol because it's good for the arthritis in our neck. And again, infinity, look at that, it's infinite energy. It never stops. And we'll go the other way. And come to stillness. Let's bring the hands behind the head. So the thumbs are underneath your occipital ridge, your hands are interlaced, and you're picking your head up off your shoulders and doing a spinal twist that way. Well, it's not a full spinal twist, it's more the head. Just a little bit in the upper body. The focal point is in the head, but we're lifting the head up off the neck to create more space between the vertebra, helping the energy from the brain go down the body through the spine. And I was doing it kind of jerky, but let's try to do it in just a nice, smooth rotation. And back to center. And down. Let's bring the ear to one shoulder, roll the head forward, and roll the other way. Doing half head circles. We don't do the back half of that because we're protecting our neck from not over stressing in that direction. And come back to center. Let's reach the arms out in front and reach forward as far as you can. And then bring the shoulders back, broaden the chest. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, press the shoulders back and down. Feel the shoulder blades. Feel them poking out here, broadening the back, flattening on the back, lifting the chest and broadening it. And let's reach the arms out and we'll press the walls away. We're going to do a lot of work with our hands today in this flexed position. You can feel the chakras in the palms of your hands. We have chakras not only up our spine, but at the soles of our feet and the center of our palms. So we're going to do more to feel that energy today. So we're reaching out and we'll draw little circles. Are you feeling the energy in your hands? And you can let those circles get bigger if you like. And come back to stillness and point the fingers down, press out through the back of the hands, and we'll circle the other way. And you can start with little circles. And get bigger if you like. And let's take those into eagle arms or hold your shoulders. And we'll draw some circles here. And circle the other way. Remember which elbow was on top. Inhale, reach out. And bring the arms in the other way. Again, hug or interlace across the palms. Draw some circles here. Feel the stretch in your back. And circle the other way. Inhale, release. Reach up, give yourself a double pat on your back. Elbows in. Shoulders down. Heart lifted. And then if you'd like to go from there to swing one arm around behind you, interlacing your fingers or grabbing your strap and walking your hands together on the strap. And bring that arm back up. Giving yourself a double pat on the back. Pressing your elbows back. Or swing the other arm around behind you, interlacing your fingers, or grab your strap and walk your hands towards each other. And release. Let's stretch out our legs. Sitting up nice and tall in Tadasana. Go for a little walk. Picking up one knee and then the other. Opening up the hip joints. Opening up the knees. And we'll squeeze and spread the toes. Point and flex. Circle the ankles. And circle back the other way. And windshield wiper the legs. And come to stillness, pressing out through the heels, pressing up nice and tall. Palms are on the floor. Just feel the lines of energy from your hips to your heels, from your sitting bones to the top of your head. Let's bring one hand across, the other hand to the side. Inhale, tall, and exhale, twist. Still reaching out through the heels, active legs, reaching up through the spine. Back to center, we'll go the other way. Come back to center and come over onto our hands and knees. Do a few cat and dog here. And come to stillness, bring the knees together. We'll stretch one leg out behind you. Let's take a moment to feel the line of energy from the heel to the top of head. Hang out here before we come into the sunbird balance. And keeping that strong line of energy, reach out through the heel. Bring your opposite arm alongside your ear. And down. Release a little bit. Waggle your tail. And come to stillness. We'll do the other side. Reach out through the heel and take a moment here. Draw the belly in. Press out through the heel and the top of the head. Reach down through the arms and up away from the floor. And then when you're ready, lift that leg, keeping that long line of energy. And then opposite arm alongside your ear. Bring that hand down, bring that foot down. Little waggle. Let's stretch out the first leg again and flip the foot over. Take the other foot and slide the foot behind you a little bit so you're at an angle. A little more support there. Coming into our side stretch here. You can bring that arm up or overhead. Let's flex the heel of the hand. Either you're here with your hand supporting the sky, just like you're supporting yourself at the earth, or as if you're pushing into a wall. That's waking up the chakra opening in your palm. Roll the rib cage towards the ceiling. Bring that arm back by your ear. Deep breaths into that lovely side stretch. Feel the line of energy from your foot to your hand. We're not making it a balancing pose today. I mean, you can if you want to, but that's not the focus. And let's come on down. Take another waggle. I'm going to change sides. Come to stillness. Send your opposite foot out behind you. Flip it over. The back foot rotates behind you a little more. Inhale this arm up. And we're either flexing the hand and holding the ceiling up, just like we're holding the floor down, pressing into the foot, or we're pushing the wall away. Rotate the rib cage. Big, long line of energy. activate this pose by pressing into your foot, reaching through the heel of your hand. And come on back down and come back into child. In child, just tap into the peaceful energy. So when we do that great expenditure of energy and then we allow the body to rest, the mind can go inside, kind of like drawing an arrow back, all that energy, and then letting it go. And then it hits the target and it rests. So let's come up to standing. Come through forward fold. Take a few breaths here in whatever variation of Uttanasana you would like. Perhaps a little sway or wiggle here. Then bring your hands to your thighs and roll yourself up. Find Tadasana. And again, we've been working with either the feet parallel or touching with the heels just slightly apart. With eyes open or closed, explore Tadasana. Again, we're going to turn the palms down and press the hands away. And as you breathe in, just float the arms out just a little bit, kind of at a 30-degree angle. Tune into the energy in your body in Tadasana. Feel the tingling in your palms, opening up the chakras in your hands. Just as a way of affirming that you are an energy being. And release. Let's step out a little bit wider, just a little bit, maybe shoulder width apart. And we're going to do that spinal breathing again, adding a little bit of legs this time. So we're going to inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees slightly, tuck the tailbone, curl in. So again, it's a little bit of a cat and a dog here. Inhaling, reaching to the universe. Exhaling, curling in. Pelvis tucks, back rounds. Let's curl in and come back to Tadasana. Again, in this variation that we're doing with the palms reaching down, hands a little away from the body. Fingertips are pointing outward, eyes open or closed. Feel the energy signature of the body. Very nice. Let's step out to a 5-pointed star, but again, we're going to flex the hands, fingers spread wide, push the walls apart. Rotate the toes to the right. Come into triangle pose. Reach as if you're pushing the wall away. And inhale as if you're pushing the other wall away. Draw the belly in, lengthen the side of your body, push the wall. Come back to center, pushing the other wall. One more time, we're pushing the wall away. I'm going to rotate the hands. And we're pushing down towards the floor and pushing up towards the ceiling. Or you can rotate and bring that arm overhead and push the wall away there and push the floor away there. Again, getting that lovely side stretch. Might try your hand behind your leg instead of in front of it as you push down. And inhale back up. Turn the palms, face the wall, and slowly come down. Turn the toes in. Toe heel or jump back to Tadasana. And our variation of Tadasana today. Fingers pointing up, palms flexed. Hands a little bit away from the body. Noticing how after the exertion, we first notice the effect in the body. And then the mind can go inside and connect with that infinite source of energy that is our true nature. And let's step out to 5-pointed star the other way, pushing the wall apart. Shoulders down, chest broad, belly lifted. Feet pressing the mat apart. Let's rotate the toes the other way. Reach over the leg, pressing the wall away, and press into the other wall. Come up. Inhale, tall. Exhale, press. Press the other way. Last one, we'll press the wall away, and then we'll rotate the arms. So we're pressing down. And again, you can have the hand where you usually have it in front of your leg, or you can try having it behind your leg, like you're pressing something down behind you. And then the other arm can reach up, pressing the ceiling away, or rotating from the shoulder, bringing that arm overhead and pressing the wall away. You probably feel like you're working harder than you usually do in a pose you're very familiar with. Inhale back up. Turn the toes in and toe heel or jump back to Tadasana. Arms a little away from your body, hands flexed and pressing down. And we'll turn towards the short side of our mat. I'm just going to turn this way so you can see from it. We're going to bring the elbows in. We're going to push the wall away this way, squeezing the elbows towards the body. And then we're going to step the right leg back into a warrior one. And we're pushing the wall away. Push the back heel down into the floor. Stretch up through the back of the neck and push the wall away. Squeeze those elbows in, shoulders down. And then swing the hands behind you and push away, broadening the chest and maybe even arcing up. Just a slight back arc here if that works for you. Lifting the chest and the eyes as you're pushing the wall behind you. And let's step forward, coming into our Tadasana Variation. And then again, bring the elbows in, palms pushing the wall away. Stretch up tall and step back with the opposite foot, bending the front knee, coming into Virabhadrasana 1 on this side. I said pushing the wall, but you might even think of pushing a piano, because then you really know that you want to have some energy in your legs too, because if you're just pushing a wall, you could just use your arms. But if you're pushing a piano, you know you've got to use your legs. So really energize those legs. You've got that big heavy piano that you're trying to push. Elbows are in, hugging the body. Palms are open. What's happening to your breath? And then swing those arms slowly behind you and push the wall away behind you. Or maybe you're the front person with the piano here. Notice your breath. And come back to Tadasana. Hands a little away from the body. And release. And wiggle your fingers and toes. And let's just shake it out by doing a little bit of a energy swing. That was a lot of work. So you can increase that swing, let the arms whap against your kidneys and adrenals. That's the energy centers in your body. It's where the body stores energy. So giving your kidneys and adrenals a little love tap. If you'd like to give yourself a little pat on the back for a job well done. Or even a little hallelujah. Deepening the breath. Taking in prana, life energy. And let's slow it down. Come on down. And just back to your regular old Tadasana, maybe even Anjali Mudra. Okay, balancing pose. Let's grab our strap. So in Tadasana, we'll place the strap under the ball of the left foot. Stand up nice and tall, find your drishti. Reaching down through the standing leg, we're going to flex the other foot. Reach out through the heel and begin to lift that leg up. It's okay if you fall out. Maybe it's because you're challenging yourself. And down, good job. Whew. On the other foot. Energy through that standing leg, pressing out through the heel of the balancing leg that's coming up. Find your drishti. Begin to bring that leg up in front of you. It's okay if you fall out. A few more seconds here. And release. Good job. Take your strap with you and come lie down on your backs. So we did a lot of work with energy through the arms. So now we'll do some energy through the legs. So find the middle of your strap. Bring one leg in, let's say the right leg. Let's bring the right leg in and place the strap in the ball of your foot, and then send your leg out straight, wherever straight is for you. It may be here, it may be here, that's perfectly okay. So we'll press out through the heel, pull on the ball of the foot. Press the shoulders back down into the floor. Press the belly back down into the floor and reach out through the heel, pulling that leg towards you. And the other leg is also active, reaching out through the heel as if you're pushing a wall away with your foot. So this is the same thing we did standing up a minute ago, only now you won't fall over. Keep breathing into the back of that leg, breathing into the stretch. Feel it release, and maybe you can come a little further. Let's release that leg a little bit so it's not at its extreme stretch here. We'll rotate from the toes, turn the legs, rotate from the hip, turn the toes away from the midline. We'll open that leg out to the side. Drop the other hand onto your hip or out to the side. Keep this leg active. Keep this hip on the floor as you open your leg out to the side, pulling against the strap, flexing the foot. Lots of energy. Just hang out here and breathe. It's tempting to want to bring that leg all the way to the floor, but we don't want this hip to come up. So just keep rotating from the hip joint instead, in the hip socket. You have chakras in the soles of your feet, and you might start to feel tingling there in your arches. Slowly inhale back to center. Change hands on the strap. Other arm can reach out to the side. Rotate from the hip socket, toes turn towards the midline. Again, we're staying on our backs. We're just bringing that leg across. It may not go very far. You'll feel an intense stretch on the outside of that leg. Pressing out through the heels of both legs. Breathing deeply and letting the body open on its own. Can you put all the effort into the arms and legs and keep the face and shoulders soft? How about your breath? Is it flowing? Slow and deep. Let's inhale the leg back up. Nice and slow. We'll do one more here. Pull the strap forward again, bringing that leg towards its edge. And if you'd like a little more challenge here, inhale your head up towards your leg. And slowly roll your body down. Lower your leg down. Nice and slow. Still pressing out through the heel. And surrender. Become aware of the different energy signature. Energy of your right leg, the one that was active, probably feels big and puffy, whereas the other leg probably feels much more solid. So you're connecting more to the energy, reality of your right leg, and you're connecting more to the experience of solidity of your left leg. So here's an example of how our yoga practice connects us to the fact that we are more than just our body. All right, let's switch legs. So bring the other leg in. Find the middle of your strap. Place that over the ball of the foot. Inhale that leg straight, wherever straight is for you. And again, if this is your straight, that's perfectly okay. Find your straight. Press out through both heels. It looks like my knee is bent, that's just the pants. Relaxing the face and the neck. Drawing the belly in. Reaching out through both heels. Begin to work towards your edge here, feeling an intense stretch through the back of the leg. Feel your ability to relax inside the tension. You are, after all, lying on the floor. Allow the breath to go to a nice deep level. As you feel an opening, let the leg move. Don't forget your other leg. You're pushing actively with that foot as well. And let's release that leg a little bit so you're not at your edge anymore. And then we'll rotate from the hip socket, turning the toes outward. Other hand lands on your hip or out to the side. Keep your active leg pressing into the floor. Keep your hips on the floor. And open the leg towards the floor. And if this is as far as you go, that's perfectly okay. It's more important to keep your pelvis stable by keeping both hips on the floor. The more you open up, the more you might rotate in the hip socket, opening up that hip joint, toes pointing down. Notice what's happening to your breath. Prana, life energy, is riding on that breath. And slowly inhale, back up. Change hands on the strap. Reach your other arm out. Rotate from the hip joint, turning the toes towards the midline. Bring that leg across. Stay on your back. Don't roll onto your side. It's not a spinal twist. Feel intense stretch from your hip through the outside of your leg. Press out through both heels. Notice what's happening with your breath. Keep breathing into that intense stretch and feel the body opening. Inhale back up, nice and slow. Both hands on the strap, begin to pull the leg towards you again, coming back into your edge here. And then if you want a little more challenge, inhale your head towards your knee. And slowly roll down, slowly with a long leg, lower that down. Release your strap. Notice your two legs now. And settle into Shavasana. Slowly begin to bring some movement back into your body. When you're ready, roll to one side and make your way to a seated position. Notice the energy signature of the body here. How easy it is for the mind to slip into that state of silence, of lively energy that is the source of our energy, the source of our being. Namaste. All right, 1 second.